Hello everyone, my name is Lena from Inkspired Creations. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada. Today I have a pretty simple card that's a bit different. It has a hole cut into the front of it so that the words can show through. So this is called a window card. I made this one a birthday card using this very large sentiment here, and it comes from the Happiest of Birthdays stamp set. So my sentiment was very large, so I needed to use a large something to cut the hole out with. So I searched through all my dies and I found this wreath set that I had in my stash, and I used this one here to cut out my hole, my window. So that's what I used to make this card. So once you've got that figured out, that was the hard part. The rest is pretty easy. You can use a circle, you can use a square die, you can use a rectangle die or an oval. It depends on the size of the words that you're using. So if you're not using big words like this, your window could be smaller, and you can use whatever kind of die you happen to have in your stash. So let's get started. I'll bring in my papers here. So I have actually only 2 pieces of cardstock and 1 small piece of Designer Series paper, DSP. So I used Bermuda Bay cardstock measuring 5.5 by 8.5, and then I scored it at 4 1/4. The white cardstock goes on the inside, and this is 5 1/4 this way and 4 inches this way. And then the Artistry Blooms package of Designer Series paper is where I got this from, and this is 1.5 by 4 1/4. Now I'm just going to show you the package that this came from because it's got lots of interesting colors in it. So these come as 12 by 12 sheets. This one is cut into 6 by 6 because it was part of my paper share that I had when the catalog first came out. So there's all these are the fronts, and then these are the backs. So there's lots of nice colorful paper in here. So I just used a small strip for this card. And I'm using Night of Navy ink to stamp the words, and then I have a white bow, and I will show you how I make the bow. So I cut this window out by placing it on my die cutting machine, and I wanted it kind of even spaces on these 3 sides, and then underneath I needed space to put this piece of designer paper. So that's what I've already done. Now if you were using a piece of paper that didn't have a nice dark color here that kind of matches, you could put a colorful strip, like in my case I would use a 1/4 inch piece of navy all the way across, but since this has a lot of navy already along that edge, I don't need to do that. So now I need to know where to stamp on the inside. So what I'll do, I'll place this on the inside kind of where I want it with a nice even edge all the way around, and then I'll close the door, and I'm going to make a few little marks. So I'm going to put these marks like right about there. And then I can erase those marks, but this is a guide for me to know where to stamp my words. So now since this is a big stamp, I like to ink it up upside down so I can see that everything is inked well. Now I just need to place this within the parameters of my lines here. Then I know it will fit. Okay, we'll give this a go. That looks pretty good. Now I can just erase these little lines. And let's see if that's going to work in here. So put it back again where I thought it should go because, you know, paper's got two sides, so if it didn't work, but it did. It's fine. So I'll go ahead and glue that down. This is really a simple card. Not much to it at all. Just the window makes it a little bit different. And once you've got the window figured out, the rest is very, very simple. I'm just going to use my bone folder to close this so it'll lay pretty flat. Okay, now this little piece here. And I want the dark side at the top. I want this even with my edge over here. And if it's not quite right, I can always trim it off, but I think it's pretty good. A little bit of trimming might be good. It's easier to trim than to try and undo that glue. There we go. Okay, now we've got a bow to stick on it, but I'm going to show you how I made the bow. So I like to make my bows before cutting my ribbon. So I'm just making bunny ears like this, and then you just tie a knot. It's very, very simple. And then you play with it. So you pull the ends back, shorten them, pull it tighter, make them long again, pull it back some more. And you kind of make the knot do, or the ribbon do what you want it to do. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm going to stick this on using my glue dots. Now you might wonder why I've got a ribbon around my glue dots here, but this kind of keeps the roll rolled up. And every time I want some, I just pull back on it, and there's my glue dots. So I'll use one or two. Probably two. Glue dots are very sticky, so you just stick it into the roll and pick it up, and then you glue it down. Now, wasn't that an easy card? That's all there is to it. So I hope you like my card. If there's anything that you would like to purchase to help you make this card or any other cards, here's my information. This is my store on my Stampin' Up! Website. And if you don't have a demonstrator and you live in Canada, I'd be happy to become your demonstrator. And this is my hostess code for the month. So if you go to my store and it'll ask you if you are using a host code, then you click on this number. And then it will take you to my store and you can purchase whatever it is you need to purchase. That's it for today, folks. Bye-bye.